what we want to explore further is the principle of governance on industry, which was practiced by the Zhou government. Okay, and this principle can be applied to both Zhou dynasty and a modern society. That's the point of this study. Now, from the beginning of Shang dynasty, because we know that Shang precedes Zhou. Okay, so from the beginning of the Shang dynasty to the end of Zhou dynasty, there was almost 1400 years of social development. It's a rather long time. Civilization changed from simplicity to complexity, and the development of industry followed the same course. And through various periods of time, the dominant industry was also different. Okay, so in the Rites of Zhou, it is recorded that during the Yu dynasty, of which Shun was the last king, the government promoted the industry of pottery, and black pottery was the representative product. After Shun, Xia dynasty began with Emperor Yu. Okay, so this Yu is different from the previous Yu that I mentioned. That is Yu dynasty, but this is Emperor Yu. It's not the same, not the same character. So in Xia dynasty, as we know, one of the most significant contribution of Yu was the management of the Great Flood, right, and building the irrigation system. So with the development of geometry and demand for infrastructure construction, the industry of masonry and water tunnel became most prominent during the Xia dynasty. In the Shang dynasty, which followed Xia dynasty, as the civilization had advanced and society had demands beyond the necessities of life, the industry of the carpenter became dominant. Carpenter dealt with wooden products. For example, according to the Rites of Zhou, carpenters made the stands of the musical instruments, which were carved with figures of animals and things like that. And they were made. They also made drinking cups up to a very high standard. Also, the poles of the target for the game of archery. So we can see that these products were far beyond the class of necessary or necessities of life. They're not for survival purpose anymore. In the Zhou dynasty, where Chinese civilization reached one of its peaks in history, the industry of the making of carriage became dominant. Now, although carriage is just one single product, the production of carriage was most sophisticated and required many different types of techniques. For example, in the Rites of Zhou, there was a detailed description about the standard of producing the wheel, such as the contact surface with the ground, the choice of diameter, which can achieve the highest power efficiency and customer experience, and the materials used for making wheel. The specification of wheel also depend on the type of road that it traveled on. And also the making of the shaft, right, takes into account of the number of things, including rainproof, size compatibility with the height of a mentioned gate, a driver's seat, etc. There are also detailed specification and explanation of the making of the compartment. So overall, the making of the carriages represented the highest industrial standard and the level of production sophistication of the Zhou dynasty. When we look at the evolution of industry focus, right, throughout the above period of time in China, we can say that we witness the evolution and development of technology. Well, we must understand that in ancient China, all the industrial branches were controlled by officials. and they were subject to the promotion of the government. But we can see that government promotion of industry simply followed the natural course. It is in harmony with the need of the society at large. So government promotion must be in line with people's need. And it is important in directing industry in the right order. Now, you may argue, that in ancient times, government was most capable to make these industrial development and research development. It is true. The four examples of industry representation were, truly related to the promotion of imperial government. However, the actual artisans were not limited to government factory workers. They were, in fact, an independent class of social members, and they were ranked equally high with all other members. So their initiatives were fully valued by the rest of the society. And it was not the case that the government could decide freely, industrial policy, even if it were against the social need.